Deck the halls with boughs of holly from R.E.M., my favorite band. It's Christmas in July, ladies and gentlemen. It is July 25th, exactly 5 months to Christmas. And, you always see the things about the Christmas in July stuff. Well, there it is right there. Christmas in July right there. REM's Deck the Halls from one of their B-sides or a special Christmas album they did, whatever, but it's still there. So welcome to Dylan Knows Christmas in July episode. But hey, it's a crazy week this week. Not only is it Christmas in July today, it's 1 month to my son's birthday. And then it's 5 months to Christmas, which I think I counted as about 150 some days to Christmas. It's baseball season started on Thursday night. The Orioles have played 2 games. They're 1-1 right now. They looked terrible on opening night on Friday, lost 13-2, but they rebounded and won today 7-2. So it's working itself out in the end like that. We got football news, so that's coming up. We got Thanksgiving news. We've got that coming up. San Diego Comic-Con is going on right now, but it's online only. So you can come and say you were at San Diego Comic-Con. You can just join in on the different Zoom calls that they have, and they've been releasing information like that. We have a ton of changes in the movie schedules again because this whole COVID-19 still sticking around. That movies are going to keep getting pushed back till that we're going to have no movies in the remainder of 2020. But we have some, and we have a whole bunch of big ones have now shifted again to 2021 or have not been rescheduled yet. I think what they're waiting for, the ones that aren't rescheduled, which I'll get to in a little bit, I think they're waiting to see where everything is going so that if it looks like, say, in October, that theaters are getting packed again and COVID-19 is on its way out and people are going to the movie theater again, they'll say, okay, why don't we release it in December? They'll find a date and boom, they'll drop in there. So we'll see about that. So we got that. We got to talk about that. We're going to talk about Randonautica app, which I've never heard of before. We're going to talk about the Rake. I've never heard of that before either. Pokemon Go Fest is this weekend also. Day 1 was today, and it was, let's just say, disappointing. But we'll get into that in a little bit. We've got 2 hurricanes hitting us. A high school friend of mine passed away today, unfortunately. We also had a bunch of big deaths today alone, particularly one big one, and a whole bunch of other deaths during the week. So we spread those out a little bit. We have Ray Parks is in the news. Darth Maul's in the news, and not for a good thing. Caddyshack is 40 years old. G4 is coming back. Bunch of trailers, an illegal wine ring. Amazon is all over the freaking place with their new TV shows and movies that they got planned. SAG-AFTRA have done something. Taylor Swift is in the news. Ryan Reynolds is in the news also. A 6-figure baseball card collection has been discovered in the strangest place. Houston is in the news for multiple times. 3 times, actually. I'm looking at them right here. A blue hole has appeared outside of Florida. So that's, 2020 keeps getting better and better. We had Apollo 11, the moon landings was on Monday. We have something about that in here. Cornbread is in the news also. Let's see what else. Frozen mozzarella sticks are in the news. Grease prequel. Football news, as I said earlier. Haikyuu has come to an end. A 13-year-old super genius, Clueless, has turned 25 years old as well. Fortnite in the news as well. California condors, UFOs are back in the news too. So we've got a whole heck of a lot of stuff to cover this week. So we're going to start with baseball being back. As I said earlier, baseball started on Thursday with the defending world champion Washington Nationals taking on the New York Yankees in front of an empty stadium. The Nationals and the Yankees both took a knee for the national anthem, which was great. And then it was the Dodgers versus the Giants or something like that at Dodger Stadium. And what's funny about that is, when you have the TV view of the pitcher and you see the people in the stands, they have cardboard cutouts in the stands. So that was weird. That was the only place that had it. New York didn't have, or Washington didn't have it for their opening game. LA did. Boston didn't. Boston was an empty stadium for the Orioles-Red Sox game yesterday. So baseball is now in full swing. 3 full days of baseball have occurred now out of 60. Moving right along. We're 1/30th of the way through. Not even that, I don't think. I don't even know what it is. 3 times 10, like 1/10 of the way through the season already. So we'll see what happens. Did I do that right? I don't know. But yeah, so we got that going on. So baseball is back, baby. Football is in the news. The NFL and the NFL Players Association have come to an agreement on what the season is going to look like. There are going to be no preseason games. They've come up with a plan that there'll be head-to-head pads, tackling, stuff like that will begin in mid-August. So training camp actually literally starts next week, but it's going to be all done visually at first while the players get themselves, in shape, and they'll have their meetings via Zoom and stuff like that to get their, playbooks down and where they're headed and stuff like that. And then they'll start meeting face to face in mid-August. So they've got that going on. So that's what's going on with that. They've canceled the preseason. There's no preseason games at all. So you're just going to roll through training camp, and I think they might have some inter-team squad practices like they've had before. Unfortunately, also 95 players have contracted COVID, so they are being taken care of right now. One player has decided to use the opt-out lettering in this year. Actual health person, a football player who has a degree in health, has been working in Canada helping to stem the tide of COVID-19, and he doesn't really feel like playing football in this while this pandemic is going on. So he has opted out of the season. So that's a Chiefs player. He's going to stay in Canada and help out there. So you can't fault the guy for that. They've got contingencies in place for people who don't want to do that. The money that they lose for this season will be given to them next year, that sort of thing as well. So there's all kinds of stuff. So NFL is back. The NBA starts July 31st. I don't know when the NHL starts, but they'll be starting soon. The WNBA is also playing now. So sports is all full back on board now. So good on that as well. Christmas in July. Not much to say about that. It's something that pops up periodically here I don't know exactly where it comes from. I mean, because you're now on the downside of it with only 5 months away, whereas, the actual halfway point of Christmas is June 25th. But I guess being on the downward slide of it with 5 months to go till Christmas is sort of like, oh shit, it's almost Christmas time. So we better start talking about that stuff. So Christmas is coming. That's why I started with a Christmas song, wearing my Christmas shirt. Someone's been naughty. It's not me. I can tell you that much. And I got my Orioles hat on for baseball. So that's pretty good. San Diego Comic-Con is this week as well. It'll be ending tomorrow. So there have been a bunch of online virtual meetings with people who do and reveal their books and talk about their movies and stuff like that. And there have been some the Eisners were yesterday, so they actually did the Eisners yesterday. So the comic book awards have been given out. I don't have a list of that, but I know I know it came out yesterday because I was watching them a little bit. So kind of weird, but here we are. Today is also Pokemon Go Fest, the first day of Pokemon Go Fest. Tomorrow will be the second day of it. For those who don't know, Pokemon Go Fest is, Pokemon Go has been around for 4 years now. And they started like 3 years ago, something called Pokemon Go Fest, where they would say, we're going to take over a park in Chicago. and turn it into a Pokemon biome where you're going to have different biomes for the different species of Pokemon, and you're going to have special, you're going to you're going to release new Pokemon, you're going to do new shinies, you're going to have, new events and stuff like that, introduce new things. So the first year was terribly, had all kinds of terrible things happen to it because Pokemon Go wasn't sure, Niantic rather, who created it, excuse me, wasn't exactly sure what they were getting into. So they had a lot of issues the first year, but it's been fixed, and they've spread it out, Pokemon Go Fest, through the year to about 4 or 5 different places all over the country, not just in the United States, but all over the world, I should say. So they've been all over the place. So you have to buy the tickets. You can buy the tickets to get there. You just have to get your way in there and get your own hotel and pay for your airfare, or you drive, whatever. There's supposed to be one in Philadelphia this year, but there wasn't due to COVID. So they decided what we're going to do this year, since we've been doing everything else virtually, we're going to do a virtual Pokemon Go Fest. For $15, you can buy a ticket to the virtual Pokemon Go Fest. And basically what it'll be is, you can do it from your own home, or you can walk out and walk around in your neighborhood. The Pokestops and gyms are all going to be, filled with stuff. The gyms will be constantly running, raids that you can get into, and with the home raid passes, you can just sit at your home and do a raid that you can see on your screen. And it was a 10-hour event from 10 to 8. And for the first 5 hours, a different biome was released. So for the first hour, it was battle, like battles. So we had Pokemon that were connected to battling, like Machop and stuff like that, and Gibble, and so on and so forth. And then it was friendship, and then it was fire, water, and grass types. And so they had released a certain amount of Pokemon, supposed to be shinies in them, and just release ones that you haven't seen, like that in the wild as much, like the secondary and third evolutions of these Pokemon that you don't see in the wild at all. They released them as well, and gave you a chance to increase your Stardust and your candies, stuff like that, so you can evolve things quicker and power them up for battle and stuff like that, and evolve things you haven't gotten yet. They had a set of things you had to do, research questions you had to do, like catch 20 fire type, 20 grass type, catch 20 water type, make a new friend, so on and so forth. And then every hour they set a worldwide goal, like you need to have 1 million fire Pokemon caught. And that wasn't just in your area, it was everyone across the world. And if you did that, it would unlock special things like extra double candies or double Stardust, stuff like that. So we succeeded in every single one of them, despite the fact that the first 2 hours, actually the second and third hours of Pokemon Go Fest were a disaster, shit shows, we should say. Starting with the friendship biome, where your plan was you had to give 3.5 million gifts. And in order to do that, you had to access your friends list and have people send you, presents, and then you open them and you would send them presents, and so on and so forth. However, there was an issue on Niantic's end where you could not access your friends list for the longest time. And luckily, with about 5 minutes to spare, we were able to hit the record we were supposed to, despite the fact that they had shut down the social aspect of Pokemon Go for a period of a few hours to get it fixed. And then entering into the third hour, which was the fire one, it was almost impossible on hitting when you hit the Pokemon to try to catch them. It just froze your screen, and then they would disappear, and another one would appear, and then they would freeze. And the same thing would happen. You have to restart and do all this stuff. So it was a pain in the butt. So once they worked out the kinks and stuff like that, it seemed to flow a little bit better. So that was okay. But the one bad thing about it was, in these special kinds of events, you're supposed to be releasing special shinies, or increasing the shiny ratio, because shinies are like the holy grail of Pokemon Go. They're different colored versions of the Pokemon you've been collecting, and they're very hard to find. It's very random when it does it. Now, when it's a community day like last week, it was a breeze catching 1 million. The shiny rate was astronomical. I think I caught like 20 of them. Today, there was supposed to be like every one that they had a shiny in that. And in the 10 hours, I only caught 6 shinies. I think my wife caught maybe 8, and that was about it. So it was a very small amount. And even then, it wasn't the ones that I was looking for. I got one of the ones I wanted, but the one good news is that Unknown, which was one of the rare Pokemon that never comes out into the wild, they released them for this. So I was able to get a ton of those. So I've got plenty of those right now. And I got a shiny one of those. So that was good. So the shiny rates were kind of disappointing. The fact that we had those issues early on, and then after about the first 5 hours, they redid everything again. So if you missed the Pokemon the first time, you could come back and catch the ones you missed the second time and continue to try to keep getting shinies and stuff like that. So after a while, it just became a slog trying to catch these because they kept spawning and spawning, and I kept throwing them. So I had like 600 plus balls. I bought like another 200, and I'm down from about 800 to 900 balls down to about 300. So I spent about 600 Pokeballs, and then I also had about 400 of the Great Balls. I'm down to about 100 of those. So I spent about 300 of those, and I had about 100 of the Ultra Balls, and I'm down to 20 of those. So I had about 80 of theirs. So in the end, I probably threw about 1,000 balls today, and I'm going to have to redo it because tomorrow is day 2. Now, they haven't told us what day 2 is yet. I'll check later tonight because we're going to start getting to some people who are going to start getting on the other side of the ocean, who are going to start getting into the 10 to 8 aspect on their side because it's local time. So we'll find out what it is. But from what I've gathered, that it looks like it's going to be a Team Rocket event, which we just did a few weeks ago, and I'm not that excited about it because I'm not. Team Rocket's great, and you can get shadow Pokemon, so on and so forth, but it's kind of boring after a while, and it just is monotonous, and it's not exciting and fun anymore. So tomorrow might not be as good as today was. But there's also supposedly they were going to release a mythical called Victini, and we thought it was going to be today, but it wasn't. So we're assuming that tomorrow they'll probably maybe do a double 2-edged thing where you have to do the research. It'll be about Victini, and then they'll have all the Team Rocket stuff going on. I think you're supposed to be able to get a Shadow Mewtwo. So let me see if they have anything posted yet as of just about 10 o'clock here. Yep, here we go. Okay, so Pokemon 2 is Rocket Straight to Victory. So the special research is going to be Machamp, Golem. You have to defeat Go Rocket leaders for Shadow Moltres, Shadow Arcantuno, and Shadow Zapdos. Ugh, that doesn't look too appetizing. Defeat the Team Go Rocket boss. So in order to get Victini, we have to beat Giovanni. So we'll get Shadow Mewtwo and then get Victini because of that. Oh my God, that's terrible. So we're going to take a snapshot, power Pokemon 3 times, send 3 gifts to friends, defeat 2 Team Go Rocket Grunts, rescue 2 Shadow Pokemon, purify 1 Shadow Pokemon, defeat Team Go Rocket Leader Arlo, defeat Team Go Rocket Leader Cliff, defeat Team Go Rocket Leader Sierra, defeat the Team Go Rocket boss for Shadow Mewtwo, where you get Victini as a reward. Oh my God, this is going to suck. Horrible. So, there it is. Ugh. So, not too excited about tomorrow, but in order to get Victini, we got to go through Giovanni. Oh my God, that's terrible. All right. Oh well. We have 10 hours to do it. Great. All right, so that's Pokemon Go Fest in a nutshell. So we'll see what happens. All right. So now we're going to get on to just regular stuff now. I've talked enough now. We're in about 20 minutes in. I've only covered about 3-4 items that I wanted to. So let's talk about some paranormal stuff. First, what is the Rake? Apparently, I've been watching some paranormal videos, and there's apparently another new cryptid out now called the Rake, which is like a weird sort of human sort of creature that hangs out in the forest and makes weird noises. So there have been some videos about the rake. It was much along the lines of the siren head from a few weeks ago when I talked about that as well, another cryptid I never heard of before. So now we have a siren head and now we have the rake. So we've got these new cryptids coming out all the time. So at least that's something. So here we go. So we got that going on. So keep your eye out for the rake and siren head and all that stuff. And on that note, also, I'd never heard of this either. There's apparently an app that a bunch of TikTokers are using now called Randonautica app, which is a GPS that somehow is able to sense your thoughts. Like, I want to go, take me to a place where the color red is. And so the GPS pops up and you follow it, and it's like a creepy place. It's like in the woods, and the way back there's like an abandoned house, and there's like a doors painted red. So that's what it is. So apparently it's like a sort of a psychic app that when you say what you think about it, you don't say it out loud, and it comes up with, this is where you need to go, and they always find what they're looking for. Now, I don't know if this is a TikTok thing or not, but apparently it is an app, and there's a video that shows a bunch of people thinking about weird things. Like one was, we want to see scary clowns in the woods, but they thought that, and then they took the GPS, and the GPS was taking them somewhere, and then they said in the camera, hey, we're going to go see clowns. So they go to the woods, middle of the woods, and they're walking through the woods, and they don't see any scary clowns, and they stop. They hear clown music, in the way distance. They're like, okay, we're done, and they walked away. And it was just a weird place to find the clown music. So I don't know how much I believe in the Randonautica app, but if that's another thing you might be interested in to check out, go for it, man. It's great. Last week, I talked about sugar cookie M&Ms, which will be coming out for Christmas. Popcorn M&Ms are the new thing coming out this week or this month sometime, or next month or whatever. M&Ms that have sort of a popcorn flavor. Should be interesting to try them. Might be an interesting taste. So to be continued. I'll see if we can find it like that. Divers are set to explore a deep blue hole off of the Florida coast. Now, it's a weird little square that's underwater, and it's pure blue. So you think at first, oh, that's kind of weird. What is it? Some sort of supernatural thing? No, there's a scientific experiment for it. It is a sinkhole in the ocean floor. So actually, the ocean floor can have a sinkhole, and they're going to be sending a diver down into it along with a little underwater robot thing to see what it looks like inside. So that should be interesting to see what happens. This weekend also, we've got hurricanes galore. We have Hurricane Douglas that's getting ready to hit Hawaii, or might have already hit Hawaii at this time. This was this morning when I wrote all this stuff, so it's possible. Hurricane Hannah is nailing Texas right now. And that's a really big one. The first hurricane this year to hit the United States. So that stuff's going on right now. So thoughts and prayers to them. Make sure everybody's safe. That Hurricane Hannah looks huge, whereas the Douglas one doesn't look too bad. But when you're rushing over the Hawaiian Islands, that might be an issue too. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll all be okay. Caddyshack is 40 years old today. So fans of the movie, they have a book out, which I haven't read yet. My friend Gary has. I think I might actually buy it. It's on my Amazon list. So I might pick that up and put that on my list to read. But for fans of the show, it's the 40th anniversary today. So go ahead and watch to your extent Caddyshack. This week, since I said it was San Diego, one of the events that they did was the Walking Dead panel. And so they talked about the Walking Dead, and they revealed that October 4th, which happens to be my wife and I's 17th wedding anniversary, and it's also the day the Ravens will play I can't say the Redskins yet, but we'll get that in a second also. We'll be playing Washington in football on that day as well. October 4th will be when the season finale of The Walking Dead is finally going to air. Remember, they were supposed to end back in like April or March or something like that, but they had to delay it because of the epidemic or the pandemic, I should say. So they've released it. October 4th is when they're going to release the finale. And then that same day, they're going to release the new spinoff called Walking Dead: The World Beyond, which focuses on a bunch of young kids, the next generation, 10 years into the zombie apocalypse, getting involved in the zombie apocalypse. So it's like a coming of age thing. It's completely new stuff, has never been a comic before. So it's new stuff, much like how the Fear the Walking Dead was a spinoff of The Walking Dead as well, became its own thing as well. This is the next one that'll be coming out on October 4th also. So that's going to fill your zombie, because that season's been done for a while. That's going to fill your zombie need until the new season of Walking Dead comes out. I think Fear the Walking Dead is also going to be rolling out sometime in there as well. And then the new season of Walking Dead has added 6 new episodes to it. You're going to have those added to it as well. So you're going to have 6 additional episodes. And then once they get back into making them and stuff like that, I would not expect you to see any of the new Walking Dead episodes till sometime in the spring of 2021, probably, because they haven't even started filming them yet. So we'll see what happens. Also at Comic-Con this week, the late lamented G4, a cable channel that just talked nothing about computer games and gaming and stuff like that, along with Attack of the Show and a few other things as well that were canceled years ago. Well, now they've hinted that, hey, we're actually going to be coming back soon. So G4 and Attack of the Show and a bunch of stuff will be coming back onto TV in some form or another in the near future. So fans of that, rejoice. You've got that. Also announced at the Comic-Con this week was the first look at the Quibi, which is still weird to me, which is a app that allows only like 5-minute videos. So people are making shows about it, stuff like that. Well, there's going to be a Quibi show based on The Fugitive. It's going to star Kiefer Sutherland. So the first trailer for that popped up as well. We've got a couple of the trailers that came out this week as well. From Hulu, the Hellstrom trailer is due out October 16th. The show's supposed to be out October 16th. They had the first trailer of it that was released at San Diego. It's supposed to be based on a Marvel character, but Marvel has disavowed entirely everything about it. And I watched the trailer. It looks really, really bad. It was confusing. I didn't understand what was going on. It looks nothing like the Hellstrom that I'm used to in the Marvel world. So watch at your own risk. The Pack, a trailer, which was from IFC Midnight, Independent Film Channel Midnight Wing, which is a horror film about an Australian family that is in a house in the middle of nowhere and discover that they are being hunted by a pack of wolves. So you get that kind of horror. And speaking of animals attacking people, Megan Fox is back. She's in an action film coming out at the end of August called Rogue, where she takes on a lioness who's attacking people, as well as having to protect a governor's daughter who was kidnapped by a South American drug lord who is also on her trail as well, while she has to deal with this lioness killing people as well. So that's interesting. An illegal wine ring has been uncovered in Spain. Apparently, it's costing 100,000 euros, which is a lot of money. Apparently, what it was is a group was making wine with corn syrup and grain alcohol, which is not how you make wine, and releasing it as wine. And people were buying it, but that's not actual wine. That's just grain alcohol with corn syrup in it. So it's not really, it's just grain alcohol. It's not wine. So it's not what people are looking for. So a illegal wine ring has been uncovered in Spain, and that's one thing I never thought I would hear. Another one I never thought I would hear is the global internet is being attacked by sharks. You know, a lot of the fiber optic lines like that are on the ocean floor, and there have been videos of sharks actually attacking the cables underwater. There's actual videos and pictures of it. So if your internet is slow, it could be because of sharks. So keep that in mind as well. Here's something strange. A fake Disney Plus Twitter tweeted, why don't you go over to check out Ray Park's Instagram, supposedly talking about a possible Darth Maul Disney Plus show. So people would go to Ray Park's Instagram, and the first picture they saw was a picture of Ray Park's wife giving him a blowjob. Now, apparently, he posted that because he and his wife are getting a divorce or something like that, or in the middle of a custody battle or something like that. It's called revenge porn, and he either did it or he got someone to do it for him. So they would go to his page and see this picture of his wife sucking his cock. It's an actual picture of her sucking his cock. Now, at the same time, there are people who believe that he was either hacked or it was fake. They've heard different things. They've heard that the wife said that it's nothing. They said the wife that yes, it's revenge porn. So at this point, it's one of these weird stories that I don't know what to believe. But the fact of the matter is, it was a picture of a woman sucking off a dude, and it was on Ray Park's Instagram page. So couldn't tell you. So we got that going on. So we got I have some sad news. This is some personal sad news. A guy I went to high school with, and I probably did middle school with him as well. Now I think about it. And I think we did some rec league baseball and basketball together, but I remember mostly from high school. My friend Dennis Kirkner passed away today due to liver failure. He'd been sick for a while. I was not even aware he was sick until his girlfriend posted something on his Twitter, or rather his Facebook, which I follow. I follow him on Facebook, and found out that he had this liver disease, and it was hitting him really hard, and he only had days left, and apparently that was true. He passed away today. Now, the one thing I remember, besides the fact I believe we played rec league basketball together, and I'm pretty sure we did rec league baseball together also. And I remember him from middle school, but as I said, I remember mostly from high school. I think was he the one that dated Susan Kern, or was that Elliot? That might have been Elliot, because Susan, I think, was also part of the, yeah. Anyway, senior year, we had a senior page of our news, a senior issue of our newspaper, The Talisman. And it's all about us seniors leaving and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. And we had something called senior superlatives, which are voted on by the seniors. Now, I was a gawky, tall, clumsy, oaf sort of type in high school. And I lost most clumsy. I came in second from what I've heard to Dennis, who won most clumsy for superlatives. Now, that hurt a little bit because I thought I was kind of clumsy. It also hurt that I lost the best dramatic one as well, since I'd been in 2 plays, actually 3 plays technically in high school, and the guy that won actually was only in 1 play. Oh no, he was in 2. He was in Christmas Carol with us as well, but he's in 2 plays, but he was more popular than I was. So I was mad about losing that one as well. So I didn't win any senior superlatives, even though I thought I should have. But Dennis beat me with most clumsy. So rest in peace, Dennis. I miss you, man. I'm sorry I didn't hang out with you more after high school, but we weren't best friends, but we were acquaintances in high school, and we knew each other pretty well. So here's to you, man. We also lost Regis Philbin today, age of 88, due to natural causes. Regis, talk show host, comedian, stuff like that. So he passed away today as well. Theodore Klein, this is local news. He is a model railroad enthusiast who owned a model railroad company in Timonium. He passed away this week. Before I came on the show today, John Saxon, an actor who's been in a bunch of stuff in the 70s and 80s, Enter the Dragon, Nightmare on Elm Street. He's in like 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. He passed away at the age of 83. Also, Fleetwood Mac co-founder Peter Green died at the age of 73 today as well. So those are your 3 that died today. Earlier this week, Haruma Miru, a Japanese actor, died at the age of 30. He was a main voice actor for Attack on Titan, and did a bunch of other shows in Japan as well. Dennis Ho, he was the first Hawaiian to win the world surfing title. He died at the age of 55 this week as well. Annie Ross, mainstay of what people call the greatest jazz group ever, died at the age of 89. I couldn't get more information about the jazz lady, but she worked with Lawrence Welk, I think. And that's all the deaths we have this week as well. So, 3 big ones today. So as I said, this week is San Diego Comic-Con. So also because of the way COVID-19 is not going away in the South because of the incompetence of our White House and the Republican governors who run those places, we're stuck with having movies kept getting moved. So we have another rash of movies that are being moved, dates being moved to other times. Tenet, which was the one that everyone is focusing on, is like, we'll see where Tenet is, and then the rest of the world goes with it. Tenet has now been taken off of the schedule indefinitely, so we do not know where or when Tenet will be appearing. Again, that was what I was saying earlier in the show. I think it's maybe one of these things where they're going to see how things go during the fall, and if it looks like things are peaking up, they might release it in December, but right now it is not scheduled to be released at this time. Neither is Mulan, the live action one, which is also tied into Tenet, it seems like. It has been removed from the schedule as well. There's probably a really good possibility that that will be moved to Disney Plus, but we will verify that as well. I think they want it to be in the movie theaters, but we will check that out as well. This hasn't happened yet, but again, they're thinking that maybe because of all these moves that Black Widow might actually move out of 2020 as well. That would be a bitch if that happened. We'll see what happens. Top Gun 2 has decided, nope, 2020 is too hot for us. We're moving to summer of 2021. So they get the summer slot in 2021, July 2nd, actually. So they've got actually probably the best summer spot to go to 2 days before the 4th of July, an all-American movie about the Air Force, Top Gun thing with Tom Cruise, your all-American guy. It makes sense. July 2nd, 2021 seems like that's, if things clear up, that's not going to be changed for anything. I think that's like the perfect date, I think, for Top Gun 2 to come out. I didn't like the fact they were going to try to come out on June 25th of this year. If everything was going well, because it should be a July 4th movie. It should come out on a July 4th weekend and not the weekend before. And then when it moved to Christmas, it's like, no, it's not Top Gun. Top Gun at Christmas, no, it doesn't work. So now being moved to July 2nd, 2021 is actually pristine, and let's hope it doesn't have to move again. Spider-Man 3 is also moving, but only by a few weeks. It was originally going to come out in early December of 2021. It's now going to come out in mid-December, December 17th, 2021 to be exact, which is 8 days before Christmas, which is a good window to come. It's a week before Christmas. You get the Christmas, rush. The college kids are back home from school, on Christmas break. The high school and other kids are going to be on Christmas break really soon. It makes sense, though. It still feels really odd to have a Marvel movie come out in December around Christmas time. Now, the reason why it moved to December 17th from its like December 4th original date or whatever is because Avatar 2, which is having all kinds of issues, has now moved out of it was out of 2021. It was supposed to come out December 17th, 2021. It's now moved to December 16th, 2022. And they've also shifted all the other ones. There's supposed to be 5 Avatar movies. So Avatar 3 was shifted to December 20th, 2024. Avatar 4 has been shifted to December 18th, 2026. And Avatar 5 has been shifted to December 22nd, 2028. 2028? Really? That'll make me 55 years old when that comes out. So we have all those Avatar movies that came out like that. Now, I didn't know these were even on the works, but apparently there were 3 Star Wars movies that were also apparently going to be coming out in 2022. That's not going to happen now because everything's being shifted again. So the Untitled first Star Wars movie is coming out December 22nd, 2023. The Untitled second Star Wars movie is coming out December 19th, 2025. And the third Untitled Star Wars movie is coming out December 17th, 2027. So we have that. So a bit closer to home. Actually, let's do one more far away. Sonic 2, which the original Sonic came out this year, believe it or not, in theaters. It was one of the last films to come out in theaters before we shut everything down. Sonic 2, because it was popular, is now coming out April 8th, 2022. So that's pretty much set in stone. So now one's a bit closer to home right now. The personal history of David Copperfield is now going to be the big film that's supposed to come out in August. Now that everything shifted, that's due out on August 28th. As of now, I wouldn't be surprised if that moves again out of the summer and into the fall. Empty Man, which I don't know much about, but it was a movie that's been around for a while, is now scheduled to drop on December 4th, 2020, which can't be right because that's a Sunday. Maybe it's December 14th. I don't know. But regardless, it's been shifted to a couple days, a couple weeks. Death on the Nile, which is the sequel to the Murder on the Orient Express movie that came out, is now shifted to October 23rd from September, I think, October 23rd, 2020. And then Antlers, which is Guillermo del Toro's Wendigo film, is now scheduled to hit February 19th, 2021. So there's your movies that are shifting dates. Don't be surprised if next week we have a few more, because we still have about one more day of San Diego. And then we've got the DC con thing coming up soon, so they'll probably release more of their DC stuff then as well. Speaking of actors, the SAG-AFTRA contract, they've been on strike for the most part now, has a new deal has been signed by SAG-AFTRA, but a bunch of actors, including our friend Gerald Webb, friend of the show, is not happy. He does not like the new contract, and the voting was low turnout, so that's the reason why they won. So he's calling out the people who are pissed about, why didn't you come out and vote for this? What's going on with that? Because now we're stuck with this damn contract. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of California, I might have mentioned this last week, but I don't remember. But California condors, who have been on the endangered list for years, have now returned to Sequoia National Park for the first time in decades. So that's wonderful news on that end. A mysterious chicken provides comfort at a late teens grave. So at a late teens grave, there's a chicken that hangs around there. And I guess if you go up to it, it'll be kind to you. Man builds a 300,000-gallon swimming pool just for his family. That's huger than regular swimming pools you see at a swimming club. But he built it all on his own volition. So that's absolutely crazy. What the hell is this? Oh, the goon suit. It's a new suit that what you can do is you put some alcohol in the suit, and there's a little tube that connects to a pen. And how people sometimes chew in their pen, stuff like that. Well, in this case, it will be able to pour the liquor that's in your suit into your mouth, and it just looks like that you're chewing on your pen. So the goon suit is out there now for your pleasure. What the hell is this? Oh, a runner turns two metal pylons in the middle of the LA County Park in the middle of an LA County Park into Star Trek holodeck control panels. So when you do the holodeck, it's got these. It's almost uncanny how much it looks like the control panels for the holodeck. A six-figure baseball card collection has emerged in an old Yahtzee box. So that's pretty cool. It's always great when you discover these cards that could be worth a lot of money, just happen to be, boom, right here, and you got it. From Netflix, we have Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy are doing a time travel movie. It has been moved to Netflix now instead of being out through the theaters. That's not going to be the first. There's a few other ones coming up later in the episode we're going to talk about as well. The new Bill and Ted trailer, Face the Music, came out this week with a new date for when it's going to open and a better idea of what the story's about. It will now come out September 1st, video on demand and in some limited theater positions, since they're expecting theaters to be open in August. So you might get to see it in the theater if you want to, but you will be able to get it on video on demand. The new trailer reveals more about the story. Apparently, as we already know, that they haven't written the song that's supposed to unite the universe and bring peace throughout. So now they're middle-aged and they don't know what they're doing. They're running out of time. So the people from the future say, you have to do it this day or world peace is never going to happen and the future is going to explode and everyone's going to die and it's going to be terrible. So they come up with the idea that they're going to go back and they're going to go into the telephone booth and go to the future and steal the song from their future selves and then bring it forward. But that doesn't work when they discover that they are now in jail and are bulked up for whatever reason. We'll have to figure out how that happened. And so they don't know what's going on with that. Meanwhile, their daughters learn about their past, stuff like that, and they end up shanghaiing the phone booth, and they travel back in time and to collect some of the greatest musicians of all time to help them create this song. And then on top of that, they also end up in hell, which is where Bill and Ted meet their daughters in hell. So we're going to see death and hell again, stuff like that. So should be interesting. So that's coming out September 1st. So we got that coming up really soon as well. The first of many Amazon shows, Utopia. The trailer came out obviously because of San Diego. It's going to star it's an Amazon series starring John Cusack about a conspiracy theory group who discovers that the conspiracy theories that are in a comic book are coming true. So that could be pretty interesting. It's the trailer is very intense and is not like silly. It looks really intense and serious. Also from Amazon, we're going to have Truth Seekers, another TV show starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who've worked together so well in many other films. They played paranormal investigators. Again, you're thinking it might be a comedy. It might have some comedy aspects to it, but there's a lot of sci-fi and horror in it. And it's a lot more, instead of ghosts, it's more about alternate dimensions and stuff like that. But there's some creepy stuff happening with that. So that's going on with that as well. Do I have any other Amazons on this page? I know I have some on the next page. No, I don't have any other ones on this page. Human-sized bats. That's the creature. Human-sized ones, your man bat style things, have been discovered in the Philippines. Wonderful. 2020, man. 2020, y'all. Also 2020, y'all. Taylor Swift surprised everybody by releasing a new album that she did during quarantine, Thursday or Wednesday or something like that, and people are talking about how great it is. So if you haven't heard it yet, definitely go for it. Librarians. A librarian finds a half-eaten cookie inside a book dating back to 1529. Now, we don't know if the cookie is from 1529 or it just happens to be that somebody was looking at the book and put a cookie in there, but there is a cookie in a book that dates back to 1529. So that's just kind of weird anyway. First time multiple planets orbiting a sun-like star have been photographed. There was a photograph taken of a star with multiple planets around it. So we know that exists out there, and there's another one out there. So that's pretty cool about that. The Pentagon has declared the Army, remember a few weeks ago, the Army said that they have video of a bunch of UFOs they don't know about. So people are just like, oh, so now the Army is believing UFOs exist. Well, they have dropped another bombshell today. They said the Pentagon actually has an off-world vehicle that was not made on Earth that they've been studying. So they have this off-world ship at the Pentagon. So again, proof that there are aliens out there. So again, and that news is brought with a huge alien spaceship. Yeah. Okay. Normally that would be huge news. The Pentagon has a UFO in their presence. And this isn't from like the World Weekly News or whatever. This is from actual news sources. So couple gets engaged under a rare comet only visible every 6,000 years. How romantic. That's pretty cool. this past Monday was the 51st anniversary of the moon landing, and at auction, an Apollo 11 spacecraft joystick topped $780,000. So someone bought a authentic joystick from Apollo 11 for $780,000. So good. Congratulations on that. Fortnite's in the news. They were supposed to have an update on Tuesday, which is going to bring cars to the game. Well, they had an update when the water was receded, but there's no cars. Apparently, there was an issue with the cars. The cars will now not be released until August, sometime in mid-August, and hopefully, that might mean that they're going to extend the season now, because that would only give a couple of weeks before the new season starts. So who knows what they're going to do about that? But there is going to be no cars in Fortnite for the foreseeable future. So that kind of sucks, but we'll see what happens. There was, however, a ancient alien spacecraft was discovered underwater near craggy cliffs, and as the water recedes, there's supposed to be some sort of competition or research or like a research thing you have to do that details that. They've also released sounds of Steamy Stacks, which is a nuclear plant in Fortnite, possibly having a meltdown as well. So things are afoot in Fortnite right now. Speaking of Fortnite, they are 3 years old today. So happy birthday, Fortnite. I don't know if they usually do special events for Fortnite. I took a look at the new stuff they've had out. There's not much. There's some cool stuff coming out, but nothing that I think that really is going to get me to buy stuff. So we'll see what happens about that. I didn't play Fortnite today because I was too busy playing Pokemon Go. So we'll see what happens. The sporting world, as I said, baseball has started. The Toronto Blue Jays, last week I told you, are not going to be able to play their home games in their home stadium of Toronto, Canada, because Canada has shut down the borders from the United States, and they do not want baseball players from the United States coming into Canada with their COVID-19. So they're blocking off the borders so that they can't do that. So the Blue Jays have tried to find another home. There was talk that they were going to do their home games at Camden Yards here in Baltimore. There was talk they were going to do it at the home of the Pittsburgh the Pittsburgh Pirates. Turns out that the most reasonable idea that they came up with is the one they're going to go with. The Buffalo minor league team, that is their minor league team for them. Buffalo is like just right over the border and the water from Toronto. They will be playing their home games in Buffalo. So that makes a whole ton of sense. It's also a smaller stadium, but since you're not going to have fans, it doesn't matter. You just need a place to play. So it's got the same dimensions as a major league ball club. It just has a smaller stadium, and it's in Buffalo. So that's kind of cool. But that's pretty what's going on with that. Mike Tyson is coming out of retirement. Now, last week I said he's going to be fighting a shark on Shark Week. I don't know if that's true or not, but he will actually be fighting a human on September 12th. He's going to be going back to the ring to face Roy Jones Jr. I don't know boxing. I guess that's interesting, but the fact is that Mike Tyson will be boxing again this year. This isn't sports related, but McDonald's is now going to require that all customers wear masks if they come into their restaurant as of August 1st. So if you want to eat at McDonald's, you will have to wear a mask inside it at every McDonald's, not just ones in certain states that have mask, laws in place. Paper Girls, the series by Brian K. Vaughan, has got a TV series at Amazon. Krispy Kreme's is bringing back their Reese's Peanut Butter Donuts. That's always a plus because those are great. The Seattle Kraken are the new National Hockey League team, expansion team that'll be playing at the fall, winter of 2020 and into 2021. The Washington Redskins, who have been into a lot of trouble. They have not been sold to Jeff Bezos yet, but they've been looking for a new name. They decided that for this year, and just for this year, unless things take off, they'll be known as the Washington Football Team. So they'll be able to keep their own colors, but they'll have like a different, just like a W as sort of their logo, whatever, but they'll keep their colors, the burgundy and red. So we'll see how that's going to happen and see if they're going to open it up a little bit more. Star Trek Prodigy is an animated series that's going to be available on Nickelodeon of all places. So I don't know. That's kind of an interesting place to put a Star Trek animated series. I never thought Nickelodeon was connected to Star Trek all that much, but here we are. Food, the canned frozen Pillsbury um, breads that you always get, the good that have the good muffins and stuff like that. They're now releasing cornbread swirl. You pop the thing and you put it in the oven and like that. So that'd be good. Some political stuff. The mayor of Portland was gassed by the Der Fuhrers in the White House's Gestapo that is still hanging around Portland. But we now have scores of moms and dads with leaf blowers and now veterans who are pushing back against these Gestapo. But the mayor of Portland was gassed by one of these federal agents, and that asshole in the White House was laughing about, man, they just pushed him down. It was awesome. So you're a fucking asshole. Third Fort Hood soldier has been found dead in so many months in Texas base, and nobody knows what's going on. One was a woman. This one was like a Mexican Asian sort of. So they seem to be minorities. So does it mean that the white supremacist army at Fort Hood in Texas are killing minorities? It's very possible. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but it is very possible that that's what is actually going on right now. Our governor, Governor Hogan, has declared that everybody will be getting an absentee ballot for this November election, but they will also be keeping the polling places open and also be doing early voting. So they want everybody to get a chance to vote in any way they want. If they do not feel comfortable about doing an absentee ballot, they can go out to a polling place and they'll be able to vote that way as well. So I think that's a good thing. Baltimore County Schools, which is where my kids are, have declared that this year the fall semester will start as a virtual only. So my kids will be going back to school from their house for the September 8th through January 21st, which is when the second quarter ends. So for the first 2 quarters of the year, it will be virtual schooling. Now, if something miraculous happens, like we get a vaccine and everything gets cleared up by November or December, it's possible that they might decide to open up the schools sooner. But as of now, that's not what's going to happen. The Maryland Ren Fest has also been canceled for 2020 for obvious reasons. So we got that stuff going on. What the hell is that? Oh, a 7.8 earthquake hit Alaska this past Wednesday. A librarian is sending drones to deliver books to kids stuck at home during the lockdown. That's really cool for them to do that. 13 nuns from Michigan have died of COVID-19. That's not good at all. Walmart has decided they will not be open on Thanksgiving this year for the first time in many years, so they will close for Thanksgiving. Masks are now required indoors and all indoors in Baltimore County now. Aaron Sorkin's trial, The Chicago 7, is going to hit Netflix on October 16th. It is a story about the 1968 Democratic Convention. And it's Aaron Sorkin, so it should be pretty good. It's going to be on Netflix. That might be one to check out and might get a bunch of nominations at the Academy Awards when that time rolls around. Target will be selling Halloween-themed succulent planters, which are really cool looking, plus their Halloween, their Target exclusive Halloween decorations are starting to make their way out. Now, most of them right now are on school stuff, but you're seeing some of them on their website, stuff like that. Some cool stuff they got coming up for Halloween. So despite the fact that we might not have a Halloween this year where you actually have to go out to parties and trick or treat, despite the fact that it's going to be like the perfect Halloween, Halloween is still going to happen. You still can decorate. You can still give out candy in some form or another because kids are already wearing masks for the most part. So That's to be continued as well. Chris Ryle, who I've known for a long time because I was a brand manager when I was at Diamond for IDW, has stepped down as the head of IDW and is being taken over by a group of people. Godspeed to you, Chris Ryle. Geologists claim that a new ocean will be opening up in the African continent, or it's starting to open up now, so we might have a new ocean sooner than later. That's kind of interesting to see that happen. Donald Glover may be returning as Lando in a Disney Plus series featuring Lando. A lot of people like the idea he was Lando in the Solo movie. Houston's in the news multiple times. Houston has been declared the most rude city in Texas by a tourist magazine. Houston also has the first ever drive-through strip club in Texas as well. So huzzah for that. And finally, the U.S. Is telling China they need to close their Houston consulate for whatever reason. So Houston's all over the place in the news, and plus they're probably getting hit by the hurricane right now. So Houston, stay strong. John Grisham is writing a sequel to the first book he ever wrote, A Time to Kill. This one's going to be called A Time for Mercy. He has never gone back to these characters until now. So Time for Mercy is coming out this fall. Might be interesting to check that out. Speaking of that, Julia Roberts and Denzel Washington, who worked together in the adaptation of Grisham's The Pelican Brief and became fast friends, are now actually going to be in a movie again called Leave the World Behind. It was originally going to be one of the big ones that studios were going to be fighting over to release in movie theaters. But now because of that, Netflix has jumped in because they're starting to get a little bit more bold with, I told you last week about Chris Evans. What's the other guy's name? I forget his name. Chris Evans and other pretty boy type, not Gyllenhaal, but the guy that looks like Gyllenhaal. We'll be doing a movie together that's going to be on Netflix. That's going to be done. Ryan Gosling, which is going to be done by the Russo brothers who did the Avengers movies, 3 and 4, and the Captain America movies, Winter Soldier and Civil War, and then Infinity War and Endgame. So they're really getting into the big films. So Netflix has swooped in to buy this Julia Roberts, Denzel Washington movie, Leave the World Behind. So that would be another one to look for on Netflix. That'd be pretty cool. Black Bear gets too close to a girl and videotape, literally was like standing right next to her. But the girl kept her cool throughout, even pulled out a camera and took a selfie with the bear, but the bear never attacked and the girl survived and everything's good. Woman urinates all over the California Verizon store after they order her to wear a mask. Stupid psychopathic bitch. A whale shark was spotted off the coast of Ocean City, Maryland. That makes the third big type of shark that's appeared in Maryland lately. We had a great white shark and a hammerhead shark show up earlier. And now we have a whale shark. So Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland seems to be a big place to go after now. So here's more corruption of that asshole's administration in the White House. So we know he's deeply involved with Epstein and his sex cult and stuff like that with the underage girls and stuff like that. We know that. And we know Giselle Maxwell is now in prison. We also know Epstein committed suicide, even though we know that he was probably killed. Well, now Deutsche Bank, who has also been involved with laundering money for the Russian mafia and for that asshole in the White House and for Putin as well, is involved with the Epstein thing as well. And there is a case that is going to be coming to courthouses against Deutsche Bank and Epstein. And they named who the judge was going to be. It is a woman. I think she has some Mexican in her as well. I'm not sure. But she will be the judge presiding over Deutsche Bank. Well, earlier this week, a man dressed in a Federal Express uniform came to the judge's house, broke open the door, shot and killed the judge's son, shot and injured her husband in front of her, and then ran off. Now that in itself is awful. It's classic, we're trying to intimidate you and scare you from doing anything, and it's absolute proof that Deutsche Bank, that asshole in the White House, Epstein, Putin, all that are all involved in some way or another. And here's where it gets even fun. Then that shooter ends up dead later on in that day. Again, committing suicide. Don't you get it? No, you don't get it because you're totally clueless assholes out there. You don't understand what is actually going on around here. So fuck you all for putting that guy in office. You fucking assholes. I hate you so much. What the fuck did I write here? No idea. Frozen mozzarella sticks are now no longer going to be in stick format. Well, you can still get them in stick format, but they're going to have another style you can get now. You can get a Mickey and Minnie Mouse style mozzarella stick. So that's pretty good. What the hell did I write here? It's like Grace Pre-Game Summer Lounge Coney. I think that's coming. I have no idea what that is. I'm just going to just ignore that. What did I write here? Make fan shutout of Armstrong Rung box. Oh, Chris, make a face shield out of a Krispy Kreme box. Okay, I got that one. So you can get the Krispy Kreme box and with their dozen donuts, and there's a way you can make a face mask out of it. Oh, I know what this says now. A Grease prequel called Summer Loving is coming soon. That's what I was trying to read. So there's a Grease prequel coming soon. Obviously won't star Travolta and Newton-John because they're way too old, but it'll be people who look like them, and it'll probably take place with how Sandy met Danny and so on and so forth. Sounds kind of boring, so we'll see. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Crayola has created face masks for everyone that are in different Crayola colors, so that's pretty good. A security camera catches a cat stealing neighbor's laundry. Strawberry cheesecake frappuccino is now available at Starbucks, so go crazy. Colorado man fights off a bear that came into his kitchen. He got some scratches on him, but he was able to get the bear out of his house. That's kind of impressive. Earlier this week, Clueless hit its 25th anniversary. Paul Rudd was wonderful in it. Dan Hedaya was added to the pantheon of sarcastic fathers who are good for their daughters and have good advice for their daughters, so like that along with Paul Dooley and Larry Miller. Paul Dooley from 16 Candles, Larry Miller from 10 Things I Hate About You. Dan Hedaya is in that group as well. It also brought Alicia Silverstone to the forefront of everybody, and it's a okay film. It's kind of icky now if you think about some of the stuff that's going on, but there's, what the hell is this? Oh, the Netflix Sandman TV show will be set in 2021. So they're going to be doing like some of the earlier works before it got all mysterious and crazy when it was earlier just going to be a regular comic book series. So they're going to do a Sandman TV series. Still is on the works, but this is going to be set in 2021, which I assume means that the series will be coming out probably in 2021, hopefully as well. Not pushed back anymore. Rey Mysterio, wrestler, loses his eye at the WWE Extreme Wrestling competition this past week. So that's not good. You said it's fake. This dude actually literally lost his eye. So I don't know if that was supposed to happen, but whatever. Hey, you got the holidays coming up, and say you don't have a significant other and you're afraid your parents are going to bother you about stuff, or you just want to create another family member to help you get out of a hard spot or whatever. Well, in Japan, you can have a family rental business, which is a new thing now, where you can rent people to be members of your family. Fake relatives. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know exactly why you would use them. I guess there's some reasons why you could use them, but it is a booming business in Japan right now to have fake relatives. So go figure on that end. Haikyuu, which my daughter should be going to bed soon, hopefully by 11. By the time I end this, I'll check on her. If she's not in bed by 11, I'll make sure she's in bed. But Haikyuu has become my wife and daughter's favorite manga slash anime. It has ended its multi-year run this week. The final chapter in the series came out over in Japan and will not make its way over to America probably till later this year. Maybe not even till early next year, but a lot of people are speculating that the creator knew that Japan was supposed to get the Olympics, and it was going to be this week. The Olympics were supposed to be going on in Japan, but because of COVID, it's moved to next year at this time. So volleyball is a part of Haikyuu, is about a volleyball team and high school volleyball team. But a lot of people are speculating that the creator of Haikyuu wanted to set it to end it so that it would lead into the Japanese Olympics with volleyball involved with that. So that's a possibility as well. So that's ended. It's actually a really good anime. If you haven't watched the anime, I enjoy it immensely. And my wife and daughter have read the manga multiple times. Just got them 3 new issues this week. The next one, number 40, is not out till September 1st. So we got a little ways to go before then. Teen rushes to save drowning dog while filming a TikTok video. So her pet dog, she's filming a TikTok video. She happened to notice that her dog had fallen into a swimming pool and was drowning. So she stopped filming to go, or rather she just kept filming as she jumped in and saved her dog. Going into the Pokemon Go Fest stuff, Baskin Robbins has released Pokemon ice cream treats. So you can eat your favorite Pokemon now in ice cream form. Jack Rico is a 13-year-old boy who graduated from college with 4 degrees. Haven't seen that since Doogie Howser. White Castle has introduced Flippy the robot that can grill hamburgers without anybody touching them. Scientists have put a GoPro on a beetle to prove that they can make miniature stuff and prove it. They put it on this beetle, so now they can make miniature stuff now, which is really cool. Yep, it's still on. Huge elk gathering appears outside of a house in Oregon. It's a lot of elk too. It was a lot of elk. West Virginia has 28 members of their football program that have been treated and who are tested positive for COVID-19. So there's not going to be probably college football this year there or anywhere really. For $40, you can buy a smart face mask, which can translate speech into 8 different languages using your cell phone. And finally, Goose finds his way home after being kidnapped by a fox. He escaped the fox and found his way back home. So that is the end of the episode. Merry Christmas early. Merry Christmas in July, I should say. Happy Pokemon Go Fest. Hopefully tomorrow will be better, though I'm not that excited about what we've got to go through. Next week, the show enters August. So this is the last episode that will be in July. So, L'chaim, July has gone by like that. And so we start going into August, the dog days of summer, midsummer coming up as well next week. Hopefully things won't be crazy next week. So, a lot of stuff will be, Pokemon Go Fest will be done and over with. San Diego Comic-Con is going to be over with. Hopefully the hurricanes will be out of the way. Baseball will be in full bloom. The NBA says start next Friday, so that'll be something exciting that's going to be happening next week. The NHL is probably going to be starting around the same time as well. So we got all kinds of stuff happening there. So August, next episode of Dylan Knows. July has gone by really quickly, and I am still out of a job. Speaking of which, the $600 from the federal government is not available anymore for unemployment. So when I go up for unemployment on Tuesday, like I usually do, I will not be getting my usual amount. I will be getting a whole hell of a lot less. So fun times. But luckily, I haven't really spent what I have. So I've got a little bit of a cushion until Congress gets their act together and puts that back into people. And hopefully, as I said, I'm probably thinking that if I ever get back to work, it might not be until September. So we'll see what happens. August is approaching. Dog days of summer, getting closer to Christmas, getting closer to fall. All right, y'all, take care. Have a great day. Be good, be safe, be healthy, wear a mask for God's sakes, and vote November, vote that asshole out of the White House. Thanks, y'all. Bye.